Hey guys, welcome back. It's Games. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to create an archer who can shoot arrows toward the goblins. And basically, in this first part, I'm just going to show you how to create the arrow. And the next video, I'm going to show you how to create the archer, how to detect the enemies, and how to play the different animations. So guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and please share our video to the friend that interested in how to create games with Godot. So guys, let's dive into it. All right, so start a game, and as you can see, we can chop the tree, we can collide with the barrel, and the explosion are very nice. They are nicely made, even though the avoidance with the goblins still there. We're going to correct it later on, maybe not today, but later on I'm going to show you how to. So add a child node to our world. So basically we are going to add an area 2D, add a child node to that area 2D, a collision shape 2D, add a child node, another child node, an animated sprite 2D. Right, rename that animated sprite 2D in anim and rename our area 2D to arrow. All right, now save as a branch scene. We are going to save it into decors. Okay, save our arrow. Open the scene. We are going to add an animation. You already know how to add an animation. So guys, it's basic stuff. So basically we are going to the files, look for the arrow. All right, we just need only one. Change the texture to the nearest. Now let's add a collision to it. All right, just move it a bit. Now add a collision shape to it. We are going for a rectangular form to fill all this. Seems perfect. Log it and hide it. Now attach a script to our arrow. So let's delete all of this. We don't need it. Just drag and drop before you left, control. And let's create a variable that you are going to call speed and 700. Let's create another variable direction. Direction is equal to vector 2D dot 0. So for those who doesn't know what is a vector 2D, basically in maths, if I remember well, it's those two coordinate, the x and y axis. So it's kind of like a position, I can say. That's what I use my direction for. So the normalized directions, we are going to create a bunch of normalized directions. So basically we do var direction in radians. I need those normalized. What I mean by normalizing north, south, west, east, northwest, as you can see. I'm going just to show you basically what it is. So vector, our direction in red is an array. An array is a types of variable that can contain a multiple elements. Basically, for those who already know a little bit of programmation, is not difficult for them to understand what exactly I'm talking about. So we are going to use these coordinates for our arrow to move up, down, up, left, up, right. It's basically the north, south, west, northwest, south, left, as you can already know from the geographic point of view. So let's just create these coordinates. If you don't basically know them, you can just note them down, or you can basically find them on the internet. And perfect for me, normalized. For you realize, for those who are not the basic, I can say, those who are really, let's say for the north, the south, there is no normalized, but for north, east, northwest, you need to put normalized because it's not a norm, it's not a normalized vector. All right, just create this bunch of them. I need these variables because I don't want my player to shoot in any direction that exists, because my archer that I'm trying to use to shoot arrows have predefined animation that only allow him to shoot from north, south, west, east, northwest, northwest. So it's kind of limited for him. He can only shoot in those directions. So I don't want him to shoot in a random direction where he's not facing. You will see exactly what I mean. So let's create a function down here that we are going to call function rotates toward target position semicolon vector2. All right, don't forget the semicolon after the void dot double point. Now in this rotate toward position, so we are going to calculate the direction to the target. So let's create another variable that we're going to call direction is another vector 2D that is equal to target position dot minus global position dot normalized. Again, we normalize the direction after every calculation. We normalize it. All right. Now let's create our first function. Is a function physics process delta. It's a predefined function in Godot. So what we're going to do is take the position of our actual arrow. Now this is going to move our arrow every time, every frame, every second. So we do position plus equal direction into speed into delta. We are going to rewrite this. I think I made a mistake. What exactly am I doing? Rotate toward. Rotate underscore towards. Parenthesis target position dot vector2 void semicolon. All right, now that it's created, I'm going down here and we are going to get the angle to the target. Now basically we need now to calculate everything. This is var. We are going to create first a variable that we're going to call var target angle that is equal to float direction dot angle. Now snap to the nearest angle. You remember when I explained to you how basically our archer was supposed to shoot? So let's say our target is on top of our archer. That means it's on the north or up direction. So if the upper direction is not exactly to our predefined vector 2, so we need to snap to the nearest. We need to normalize which angle is. We are not going to calculate exactly where exactly the enemy is, so we're just going to shoot up, even though it's not exactly up on top of the plate. So rotate the arrow. Now to rotate the arrow, we basically just rotation equal to closest angle all right to me. Now let's create another function. The function we are going to create is snap to the nearest angle. Don't forget the underscore, parentheses, angle dot float, another semicolon, float semicolon. Now inside that snap to the nearest, so the closest angle, where the closest angle is equal to a float, is a type float, then is equal to 0. Closest distance is a float also, is equal to int. For direction, for my dir, because I create something like called dir, is in there. So basically for these 4 conditions, I'm going to snap accordingly. Let's say my target's angle is 85, then my normalized angle is 90. So it can basically go from 85 to 90. So my archer is going to shoot to 90 degree and not 85 exactly. That's basically what my 4 condition is doing right here. So inside my 4 condition, I'm going to check for dir in direction, reds, we check in the, so we just snap to the nearest angle, we check the absolute value, the distance is basically math, just some basics math. If the distance is less than the closest angle, closest distance, dot closest distance is equal to distance closest angle is equal to the angle, then return the closest angle. So there is error here since I started. What basically I needed to do is to add indentation before every var. As you can see, I just ident because they're in the physics function in that block of code. So let's create another function. This function, we're going to call it direction. Then inside the direction, we put our variable direction is a vector2d. So for this one is kind of a little bit complicated. So what we are going exactly to do is to call this function in the Archer codes. We haven't created the Archer code. So we are going to call this function in the Archer codes to attribute a new direction to the arrow. So it's like we are going to import our new direction from the arrow direction, not exactly from here, but for the Archer. I will show you in the next video, in the next part, since this one is the first part of the Archer creation. Now let's create a function destroy. So for the function destroy, we are going to create a variable timer is equal to get 3 parentheses dot create timer. So when the 0.5 second timeouts, we are going to call a function called die. Then in the function die, we are going basically to Q3. Q3, that's meant to delete, to destroy, to execute. All right, sound fine to me. Then now here we need to check the collisions. We need now to check the collisions. So basically we attach the signals. Already know, guys, I really hope you know how to call a signal. So we check the signal. Now if body.name is equal to limits. Limits is those collisions that we create around the grounds to avoid the player and others to move on the sea. So I'd want my arrow when it collides to that to die. That's meant to destroy. Then if the body name begins with warrior, it dies also. Basically, it's just going to die. It collides with the pawn, it collides with the tower, it collides with the house, all the buildings, I can say basically. It's going to die. So collide with the goblin dodge, died, goblin TNT. Alright, goblin barrel.